Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Welcome to a first impression review with all the new Catrice bits for Spring/Summer 2025. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. I have managed to get my hands on all save but one, and it's only one shade in a lipstick range, so we'll chat about that in a second. But all the new Catrice stuff that has launched. Catrice do a biannual update, usually around January, February time, and then one around August, September time. Their sister brand, Essence, works in a similar vein. So I do expect the Essence products to drop in the next week or two. But the Catrice stuff dropped, and I have everything here for you. I have already managed to swatch all of these out. I actually did that right before I sat down to film this video. So I'll be popping some pictures of close-ups and swatches on the screen as I'm talking about these products, and I'm just going to be putting everything on my face to test it all out for the first time. And there's a lot here, so let me just get to it. So there are always a couple of products in these kind of videos that I don't have from the brand that are new, so I'm just going to be substituting those with other products from that same brand, or I will just use things from my Shop My Stash. So there's no new eyeshadow primer, so I'm just using my NYX one here, but I do have a new face primer, and this one I'm really nervous for. It's the Glam in Gold Hydrating Primer, and it's a style of primer that Catrice has done in the past, where it's just this clear primer with the little gold flecks. I think YSL started doing something like this, or Glam, like one luxury brand started doing this, and then everybody started to copy them. And I swatched this on the back of my hand, and when I was like spreading it out, there were just flecks of gold sparkle everywhere. So I don't know what this will look like on my face, but we're going to test it out together to see if this is any good. Of course, I have not yet been able to check out the wear time of any of these products. I got these in on Wednesday night, and I was at work all day yesterday, so I couldn't take pictures. And so this is the first time I'm genuinely using the product. See, and what I'm seeing here is that there is this fleck, like there are flecks of actual glitter in here that do end up on your face. And I thought when I looked at this product that maybe they would like disperse or not be that noticeable. So I'm not sure this is going to be my new favorite primer. Now that I'm like putting it on my face, I'm like, yeah, I don't see any of the gold flecks anymore. But maybe just because I'm like spreading it out more, like there's now one, do you see that? It's like right on my forehead there. So I hope I'm not stuck with like a random gold thing. See, I can like, when I use my fingers to press it in, it does disappear. So I was afraid that wouldn't happen, because when I just like casually spread it out on the back of my hand to have a look at the texture of the product, I was like, oh, that doesn't bode well. But it seems to be disappearing when I'm putting it on my face. So that is a good thing. And this is just a very thin primer, I feel. It's definitely hydrating, and it goes on a little bit tacky as well. So this could be good for me, but I think for right now in the wintertime, this is not good enough for me. So let me grab a piece of paper here. So just judging this product on its first use, I don't think this is going to be my favorite primer for the wintertime. It is very thin. It goes on a little bit tacky, like it has a bit of a dry down. It feels pleasant on the skin. It doesn't like pull or do anything weird. It feels pretty fine, but I don't think this is nourishing enough for what I want my primer to do in the winter time. So maybe later this year I might start using it more, but I will definitely grace it with a review at some point in time. And what I always like to do with videos like this is that I like to come on here a few months down the line, once I've tried all of the Catrice and Essence products, and then I will give you my honest review after trying them for a longer time. So I always do an update, and I think we're going to have some spin-off videos from this as well, because there are too many products that I can possibly show in one sitting. So that's the primer done, which brings us to two products that I wanted to discuss immediately, because it is these two products. It's the Soft Glam Filter Stick and the new Instant Bright Serum Concealer. So these are both new products from the brand. Catrice hasn't come out with a new concealer in a while, and this filter stick is the stick version of the fluid that I love. This is something I was already using instead of a base. You can use this as primer, as highlighter. It's essentially a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and they've now released it as a stick. And I have it in 2 shades here, so the swatches will be of 2 shades, because when the products first launch, there's always like only a handful of products out there, and I cannot always find my shade, so I just buy the shade that I think is going to be closest. But then when the rest of the products actually dropped, 010 Fair Light, which is the shade I thought I was going to be, did drop. And the same thing for the concealer. There's going to be swatches for 002N and 10C, because I didn't know what shade it was going to be, so I bought one because I thought it looked okay, might be able to make it work. And now that I have them in, I'm like, I'm gonna wear 10C. And from the stick, I also have shade 020, but I already knew right off the bat that that would be more of a bronzer shade for me than anything else. So this says on the back that it should have sheer coverage. So I'm gonna see what this does by itself. Like, do I like this if I just apply it? I don't know what this is gonna do. I don't know how this is gonna sit on my skin. And I don't know if it's gonna be pretty. So I did bring up my tinted serum foundation, or skin tint from Catrice, because that's my favorite foundation from them. And if this doesn't look right, I'm just going to cover it with the skin tint. That's how I had envisioned this one. So since I want to see what the stick does by itself, I'm going to apply it first, and then I'm going to apply the concealer where needed. Okay, so this is the effect of just a stick by itself, and I definitely think it works. It gives sheer coverage. It's not enough to cover up all of my redness per se, but that's what we have the concealer for. So this is definitely great for like no makeup days where you just want to do something really quickly. I just used fingers to like dab it in. When this first goes on, I was afraid that it would really accentuate my pores and stuff, because when I like put it on with the stick itself, you can see all the pores coming through. But then when I tap it in with my fingers, the warmth of my fingers and my skin makes sure the product melts into place, and it actually looks really pretty. It has a hint of glow to it. I feel it is less glowy than this. So if this was too much of a highlighter-like product for you, then maybe the stick can be of good use. I think that for some people, this is going to be perfect as a highlighter stick as well. Some people might even like this as primer, but I don't love these kind of textures underneath my makeup, because I do feel it is a slightly thicker formula. I can definitely feel that going on. Let's do the concealer next. So 10C is a great match. I think I'm gonna like this concealer quite a bit. I haven't really enjoyed a lot of the concealers that Catrice has ever come out with. I like their under eye brightener, but I don't really love any of the liquid concealers. But this feels nice and hydrating. It blended out beautifully. Is it 10C? Yes, 010C is really pretty. I felt that compared to 02N, it definitely had a slightly pinker undertone, and that's currently what I'm really into for my concealers. So this is actually really beautiful. I like my base here. And I think, because I do have a powder here just in case, but I think I'm going to forego the powder. But I do have some like setting things from the brand that I do want to test out. This I need your help with, because I thought this was a powder, but it's the Magic Shine Eraser Gel to Powder. And as you can see, it's this clear sort of putty stuff. I feel it's very silicone-y when I touch it. And it says gel to powder, but I have no clue how I would ever use this, because I don't think it's going to sit well over makeup. This could be nice perhaps under makeup, but there are no instructions on the back on how best to use this, what this is meant to do. Since it says gel to powder, I thought it was just going to be a mattifying kind of product. But when I was swatching it, like with my fingers, I could barely pick it up. So what tools do I need to use with that? Is that with a sponge? Is it with like one of those pad things, like the powder puff things? I don't know how to use that, so I need your help with that one. but they did come out, I just mentioned it, the Under Eye Brightener Setting Powder. Do I need a setting powder just for my under eyes? No, but since it's here, we're going to apply it. I got mine in the lightest shade. This is 010 Light Rose. It has squalane in, it says here. I'm not sure if you can see, but it is this slight pinky toned powder. It doesn't come with a whole lot of product. It's only 2.3 grams. And I know that, like, is it Pat McGrath that has like a pinky toned under eye powder? I don't know why I would need a separate powder just for my under eyes. I just feel that's a bit of a gimmick, but we have this product now, so we're going to use it in this video today. Not sure if I'm ever going to like really make this part of my everyday makeup routine. I don't think so. So here is what that under eye brightener looks like. Does it brighten? It definitely does like set things down. It's not light enough to really have a brightening effect on me. I think because I am so fair-skinned, and this is the lightest shade that they do, it just kind of blends in. What I have sometimes found with these kind of powders from other brands that I did try in the past is that they can sometimes darken my under eye because the shade is just not right for me, but this doesn't seem to do that. We'll check back in towards the end of the makeup to see if the concealer has increased or the base isn't starting to do anything weird. I'm just going to continue doing the rest of my makeup with you guys and chat to you about all of the other lovely products that they came out with, because there is a lot, as I mentioned. Because I have no new brow products, I quickly did my brows off camera, and that means we can move on to bronzer, blush, and highlighter. Because there are some new blush, bronzers, and highlighters. They came out with a liquid bronzer. This is part of their Melted Sun range. They already do a cream in a compact in that, but now they've come out with a liquid. This is shade 05 Tan Lines, and I swatched it on the back of my hand, and I was like, this is very cool toned. I think I like the look of that. So this can definitely be a successful product for me. Not sure how that's gonna pan out just yet. I'm gonna see if I can apply it with fingers and with a brush in a second. I also have a new highlighter, but from the website where I bought it, this initially had a different picture that it was listed as, so I thought it was going to be a different kind of highlighter, but it's just a new shade in the More Than Glow highlighters. This is Absolute Blushing Bright. I gave it a swatch, and this is not going to be a highlighter for me. It's far too dark. It has a very deep base to it, and it is also really warm toned. So this is going to be something that was a bit of a boo-boo for me. If I put this on my face, it's not going to be a good thing to go with the rest of the shades. But I do have 5 of the new Blushing Charm blush sticks. And I didn't know this because I just like bought every shade there was. But there are 3 that are, it's these 3. But there are 3 that are like a matte formula. And then there are 2 that they market as a blush lighter. So these are blush highlighter hybrids. And this shade especially, it is shade 050 Radiant Honey. Seems to be very much up my street. So I thought I could try this as a highlighter first. And then maybe put one of the matte shades like as a sheer wash of color over it, because I know that one is just going to be way too dark for me and it's going to throw off the entire look. And I do want to film another video after it. I am going to like include that highlighter in a review sometime. And anyways, the More Than Glow highlighters are really good. The lightest shade, which is 010 Ultimate Platinum Gaze, has been one of my favorite all-time highlighters. It's got a really nice dent in mine. So I didn't know this was just another shade in that line. Then I probably wouldn't have bought it. But it's here, it's new, in case you were wondering. Because apart from brand new products, Catrice always does a couple of like shade extensions, or they discontinue some shades and then they put some new shades back in the range. But I'm just going to see what this does. Is it a highlighter? And if it's not good enough to be a highlighter, I'm just going to tap it on and use it as blush at the same time. So we're going to start off with this one. Yeah, that works better as a highlight on me as the other thing, I'm sure. It shears out beautifully. We're going in with the bronzer. Just going to do a few dots like that just to see if I can blend it with my fingers. Look at how gray toned that is. It's super gray toned. No, I definitely think I need a brush with this. It's going to take hours if I don't use it. But sometimes I then blend away the bronzer, but I think this is fine. And then we're going to finish things off with Ruby Darling. This one is broken. So when I was swatching it, the blush actually like fell all over the floor. But I want to try as many of these products for you as I possibly can. So I always just use a little bit on the tips of my fingers when I use a blush stick, because that gives you a lot more control for the product. And this seems to be the coolest tone shade that I still find appealing. I'm sure it's meant to go on darker skin than mine, but yeah, if I do a sheer layer, I'm sure it's fine. So with cream blush, this shade was very intense, of course, but I feel that with a cream blush, I can always tone it down and like use my concealer or my foundation brush to tone things down if I need to. And I feel that once it's blended, this is a really beautiful, cooler tone blush shade. I really like this look on me. The bronzer, I'm super impressed with. Like this bronzer shade is exactly what I need in a wintertime. Like, it's giving me that hint of something warm toned, but it's not like overly warm, it's not overly gray. I think for a lot of people this is going to be way too gray toned, but if you're one of those pale people who struggle with every bronzer looking muddy on you, I think this is something you might like. These blush sticks, I need to play with them more, I need to try all of the colors, but so far, I'm very impressed. They have done some really, really nice cheek products indeed. And that brings me to eyes. And for eyes, we have some really exciting things. Part of me really wants to play with these, but they are not necessarily things I want to play with right now because I know it's not going to go with the rest of the makeup look. But they've come out with some new stuff in the Space Glam line. They already did a highlighter. I think there were already some eyeshadows out previously that I didn't try. But they've now come out with an eyeliner and a eyeshadow. And this eyeshadow, it's a subtle, like, duochrome kind of moment. I'm not sure you can see this, but it's like blue with a flash of like a lavender pink to it. It's really pretty. The shift is very subtle though. When I swatch it on the back of my hand, it looked like more like a periwinkle blue, silvery kind of shade. And then I really had to twist my arm to get the flash to show up. This thing, however, this eyeliner, it's like liquid silver. It's like if you've ever seen liquid mercury, that's what this reminds me of. But it's not liquid mercury. I can guarantee that, else it wouldn't be sold in stores. But this looks insane the way this went on. I don't love how thick the brush is though. So this is probably gonna go into like the cubby I have for like all my crazy makeup stuff that I don't get to use as often as I like. But for sometimes for parties and stuff, I do like to wear liners like that. I think that's going to be a really fun thing to play with. But what I do want to play with is some of this new eyeshadow. And here's a question for you. They've come out with 3 of these tiny treasures eyeshadow palettes. Do you want to see me do like 3 different looks in one video with these? Like, I could do that if you want. Where I do like a little spin-off video from this one where I take these 3 and I put them all on. They are 6 shades, so I can easily do like one look with every single palette using all of the shades that each one has to offer. So I thought I could do that in another video and then use this one today. So what are these tiny treasures eyeshadow palettes? If you know, you know. If you know the Catrice makeup line, you've been with me for a while. They used to do the 5-in-a-box shadows, and I feel these are the 6-pan versions of that. So they do 010, which is Everyday Essentials. And they do 020, which is Wild Berry. This is my favorite one of the 3 just based on swatches because this is cool toned and sort of that pretty pink vibe that I really enjoy at the minute. And 030 Heated Up is the warmer tone, like spicy one. So we have a neutral, something super warm, and something pinky cool tone. So let me know if you want to see me do that. If you don't want to see that, I'm just going to roll these into a regular eyeshadow palette review video. But today I thought I could play with this. This is the the Dark Cocoa palette. This is, of course, a line that Catrice has been doing for a few years now. They discontinue some, then they come back with a new one. They did the Soft Peony last time round, which I enjoyed the most out of all of these that I've tried. I don't think I've tried all of them, but when these initially launched, there were 4 of them, and I did a dedicated video to that, so you can see that in the, I will make sure to link that in the description box down below. But they have been improving on these a lot, I feel. They're not as patchy as they used to be, and these are nothing special. They're not like groundbreakingly special eyeshadow, but if you're just looking for something fun to use, then this can definitely be, something fun, something basic to use in your everyday makeup routine, and you don't want it to be super expensive, then this is decent eyeshadow. But what I'm most excited for, the new Glam extension. The Glam waterproof mascara has been one of my favorites for years. I use it as a black top coat to waterproof any volumizing mascara I might use. It's currently in my Shop My Stash together with the Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift. That's one of my favorite combos. I first use the Maybelline on my top lashes, and then the Catrice one goes on top, and I use it on my bottom lash line because it tends to smudge a lot less quickly than regular mascaras would. And what have they done? They've come out with a brown waterproof version. So I still have my Pure Volume Burgundy Brown from Catrice here as well. So I thought, let's go for an all brown look today. I think that will be pretty. And then I am gonna try this, but I'm gonna try it off some other time, because this is the Glam Tinted Primer Mascara Base. So they recommend this to be used under a base, and I thought, because it's a white tube, when I bought it, I thought it was going to be one of those white bases that gives you the fibers to have it layer on top. But this now says, now that it has come in, soft black. So maybe this is already a black base, maybe it does have the fibers, I don't know. It just says that it's for extra volume. So I'm gonna try this with my black mascara, and I'm gonna use my Pure Volume with the waterproof Glam on top. I got 2 of these. That's how excited I am for this one, because I love me a Catrice mascara. We all know that. I love trying them. I love testing them out. I have my favorites from the line, and the Pure Volume is my favorite brown mascara that they do. So I'm gonna have a look. I'll first try this by itself, and then I'll do it the other way around that I normally would do it. But I want to see what this does by itself. But the Glam by itself, it's more of a lengthening mascara, I feel, rather than a truly volumizing one, which is why I probably in the future will use it the other way around. So yeah, let's do some eyeshadow so that we have a nice look on, and then I will be back with you shortly to discuss lips, because that's where the major update happened. So here is what that eye look looks like. A little bit of a brown tone moment. The eyeshadow palette worked quite well. The 2 shimmers that I thought were going to make the palette, which is this one and this one, they don't really do much. They feel like the sparkle kind of goes everywhere. I had to intensify that lid shade with my finger, and it's still not very metallic-y. So if you love really intensely pigmented shimmers, this is probably not for you. If you like something a bit more satiny, then this can work. If you're very prone to fallout, I don't know if you're gonna love this one per se, because those sparkles are quite loose and they could turn into the shower all over your face. I just think that if you use good application techniques, you really don't have to experience fallout. Just go gently and maybe use a finger or a sponge tip applicator to get more intensity out of it. But the mattes blended beautifully. I used every single shade in the palette to create the look. This is in the crease, this is all over the lid. I use the darkest shade as liner. I use a little bit of these two shades on the lower lash line together with the gold that's right here. This cream shade I use to sort of blend out and diffuse the entire look. And then this is what I popped into the inner corner. And I think this is pretty successful. And then, of course, I also use the mascara on this eye. I went in with the Pure Volume first, and that was the one thing I was afraid of. This is a lighter shade than this is. This is in Burgundy Brown, which is more of like a black and brown, so it's very close to black, whereas this is more of a true brown, I feel. On my eyelashes, which are naturally a little bit darker, even though I do have blonde hair, I don't really see that much of a difference, but maybe if you have very light lashes, it may show up more. This is my eye with just the Glam Doll by itself, and I just don't feel it's giving the same effect as when it's topped over another mascara. I just feel that it goes on beautifully. It seems to have the same brush, the same sort of formula as the black one has. It's now just in a different color. Here is what the spoolie looks like. So yeah, I'm gonna have to test this out more to see if it is as waterproof as the regular version is, because I have no clue about that one. For lips, I have not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 different new lipstick ranges that they've dropped, which means we cannot do everything in one video. I've decided that I'm going to put these guys into this video. This is the Lip Artist. This has a lip liner on one end and then a lipstick on the other. But with the other 4 lines, I think I'm going to do 2 spin-offs, because this is the Glass-like Dewy Lip Tint, and there are 8 shades available. I'm missing one. That's the one I haven't been able to see anywhere yet. So when that does come in stock in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to pick it up and then I'll film a video with just these 8 shades. And these appear to be the Catrice rendition of a K-Beauty lip tint. Because when I swatched these, I felt like they felt and applied like a K-Beauty lip tint. These also promise to stain your lips, which is why I want to do them in a separate video. But then there's also the Diamond Glaze. This is a lip gloss formula in this really pretty, sparkly, almost multi-chrome sort of vibe to it. Like, these all seem to have a shift. And especially this lightest one, this is 010, Bubbles and Troubles. Like, it looks blue and green and a little bit purple, so this could be really perfect for, like, topping over lipsticks you find too warm-toned to make them look more cool-toned. Just saying that that's an effect you can always play with. So yeah, these are, in the swatches, I was really impressed with these. When I saw them online, I was like, nah, I'm buying them to complete the set, you could say, to have them in this video, but these look stunning. And these are going to show up in a video together with the new, well, how new are these? I'm not even sure I can tell anymore. But the Melt and Plump Juicy Lip Plumper. So they already did a line called Melt and Shine, which they came out with earlier that I reviewed for you last year. And these seem to be the plumping version of that formula. So when I swatched these, I felt that formula-wise, they felt very similarly to the original Melt and Shine. They are this sort of like squirt lip balm, sort of sheer, glossy, balmy thing, but this promises to have menthol in and to plump your lips. I haven't tried these on my lips yet, so I cannot tell. They didn't feel tingly when I applied them to my arm, though, so they're probably not hugely plumping. And some of the shades in here seem to be quite interesting. And the thing that I'm really excited for are these butter dripping glossy lip balms. So these are, again, some sort of like lip balm thing with a bit of a tint. And the scents of these seem to go with the shade name it has. So this darkest one, 050 Cherry Delicious, seem to smell like cherry, and there's also one called Latte, and I felt that one smelled like a bit of like a caramel kind of scent. I'm still getting over the cold that I've been suffering from all week, so my scent I can't smell everything properly at the minute, so I could be totally wrong, but these are interesting. I thought the shades of this one was especially good looking, so this has me very excited, but I'm going to put those 3 things in a video, I think pretty soon already, maybe before the end of January, maybe at the start of February, I might do that video. But yeah, there are going to be 2 spin-off videos already from this one with lip products. And then if you want me to, I'm also going to do a spin-off video with the 3 eyeshadow palettes. So let me know in a comment down below what you want me to do. But as I mentioned today in the video, I did want to show you a lip product, and so we're gonna go in with these Lip Artist matte lipstick and liner, and this is what they look like. So they have a tinier, like a pointed tip to them on one side, which is the lip liner side, and then this is the thicker side, which has the lipstick in. When I swatched these though, I felt that the liner shades and the lipstick shades didn't really go together, and also a lot of these lipsticks are very warm tones, so I think these are going to be my least favorite. I want to save the exciting bits for those other videos because I think those would get more views as well if I were to put them in a separate video. But yeah, these look pretty, but the tip of this lip liner, look at how thick that lip liner is. That's a thick lip liner, so I don't know how that's gonna go. And then these just have a bit of a twist up lipstick, but the twist, like, it twists up so easily, almost too easily. So I think if you were to throw these into a makeup bag, that these could break pretty easily. But I'm gonna swatch these on my lips, putting the lip liner on first and then the lipstick on top so you can see what these look like on. And we're gonna start with this sort of like peachy nude, which is always together. So here's that lip liner by itself. And here is the Always Together lipstick. A bit too peachy for me, not gonna lie. Not loving this shade, but the lip liner is definitely helping this one. If this didn't have the lip liner, I wouldn't like it as much as I do now. I definitely think it's more flattering because it has a slightly deeper sort of outline that lip liner gave it. We're moving on to 020. This is Never Apart. So this is what the lip liner looks like from Never Apart. And here is what the lipstick looks like. It's far too coral for my liking. The lip liner was actually really successful. I really like the shade of that lip liner, but then the lipstick with it, again, it's the lip liner that is the saving grace here. That's the thing that's making it work. But this color of lipstick by itself on me isn't my favorite. It just isn't. 030 is Best Friends Forever, and I think this is going to be my favorite shade from the line. But just judging by the stickers here, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to like, again, that lipstick. It's just, everything here is so incredibly peachy brown leaning. It's just never going to be my favorite. But again, here, the lip liner, I am very hopeful for. So here is what that lip liner looks like from Best Friends Forever. And here's what the full lip look looks like. Again, the lipstick is really throwing it off for me. It's so orange on me. The lip liner is, again, the saving grace because it gives me a little bit of shading where I would normally get like weird patches if I wear a shade like this. So it is the lip liner that's making it look good on me. We have one more shade to go. And 040 is Sisters by Heart. Here's that lip liner by itself. But Sisters by Heart has to be my favorite shade out of the 4 now that it's on. When I swatched it on the back of my hand, it looked really, really brown toned. But it's a brown, red, plum, has a little bit of everything. So it kind of pulls on the plumminess that I have naturally going on in my lips. So I think out of the 4, this is my favorite one. And I definitely like the concept of this. Like, I think this is a very smart product to launch with like a lip liner and a lipstick thrown together. And as I was mentioning, it's the lip liners that still make it work for me for a lot of these shades. I just wish these shades were different. Like, I want pinks, I want reds, I want mauves, I want nudes that are going to work for my skin tone. None of these work. So that's why, like, nothing is really perfect. This is still really pretty. I think the product itself is good. Again, I cannot say anything about wear time with these, but just from putting these on, they are pretty creamy feeling. So you may be better off like using the lip liner to fill in your full lip if you do want to make these last all day. That's just my prediction here. I think these aren't going to survive lunch because of the formula that it has. And yeah, those were all of the products that I wanted to show you in today's video. These are all of the new bits in from Catrice. As I mentioned, there's just one shade from that lip line that I'm still hoping to find somewhere. And once I have that, I can do that spin-off video, but you can expect another spin-off video with some lip products from this video where I'm going to test out the other range. And if you want to see me do a separate video with those eyeshadow palettes, then I'm also going to roll that into February, I'm sure. As I mentioned, there's also going to be this kind of video, but with Essence very, very soon. They have announced their new products as well, so it's just a matter of time until those are going to be made available. There's usually 2 to 3 weeks between the Catrice and the Essence stuff, so that's coming once I can get my hands on it and I can make that purchase, because I did buy this with my own money, in case you were wondering. And yeah, this is everything that's there from Catrice. They haven't done a drop this big in I think 2 years. This is like the biggest Catrice drop we've had in a while. So let me know what your favorite product is from the range, what you would like to see me review straight away, because that's what's going to happen to all of these products. They're going to be part of my Shop My Stashes in the next couple of months, and then we're going to be testing them all out. I want to do these kind of update videos that I already mentioned, usually like 2 to 3 months later, but I don't have any clue how much new Essence there's going to be, so I'm not sure if I can already do it in like March time. I think it's going to be, I'm going to have to push it towards the end of April or maybe even early May if Essence also has a lot, because there's just too much here for me to really be able to test it out in a matter of weeks, especially with the new Essence stuff coming as well. And I still need to test out so many other bits. I'm definitely going to roll them in slowly but surely. You're going to see all of these things over on the blog, in my Shop My Stashes, and then in that update video. So if you'd like to stay tuned for more content that is coming your way with all of these lovely products from Catrice. I just don't feel there are any duds here. The only thing where I'm like, really, is this primer. That's the only thing where I'm like, did I need that in my life? Probably not, but everything else, like the concealer is increasing. That stick I really thought was like going to bunch up around my nose, and it didn't do any of that. I don't have any creasing on my under eye with this powder and stuff. That's that. The only thing, as I mentioned in the video, I don't know what to do with this, the Magic Shine Eraser. So if you have any tips on how I can use this, like what tool to use it with, then I would love to know, because when I was swatching it with fingers, it wouldn't transfer from my finger to the back of my hand. It just didn't. So I'm not sure how to use that product. So help a girl out while you can. So thank you so very much for joining me here today. Thumbs up this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more by me, because that is how you can stay updated on when I post new videos. Click the bell. You know the drill by now. And then I hope you have a really, really great day. Bye-bye.